This recording is from the British Council.
Hello? Junko Mori speaking. How can I help you?
Hi Junko, it's Andrea here from Red Band. I'm calling about our latest order.
Everything arrived okay, right? We got the delivery confirmation at our end.
Yes, everything's fine with the order. I'm calling about the invoice and the payment terms. I need a favor.
A favor? What do you need?
This is a little, difficult, but I need an extension on the payment terms. I know they're usually 30 days, but we're having some cash flow problems. You'd really be helping us out if you could extend it to 60 days?
I'm not sure if I can do that, Andrea. We've got regulations at our end and also have to manage our own cash flow.
I promise this won't become the norm, Junko. Actually, I also want to place another new order. The same size order as last time. It's for an important customer and they pay on delivery.
I see. So your cash flow problem will be solved after this new order is delivered.
Exactly.
That sounds good. Hold on, Andrea. Let me see what I can do. Yes, I think we can make an exception this time.
That's great, Junko. I appreciate your help.
And we appreciate your business, Andrea. It works both ways.
Thanks again, Junko. Can you send me a quick email confirmation of the payment terms extension?
Sure, no problem. We're happy to help you.
Great. And I'll email you the new order.
Thanks. I'll keep an eye out for it. Talk to you soon.
You too. Goodbye.
This recording is from the British Council.
Hello and good morning. Well, we're off to a good start in the south this week as most of the rain from the weekend has disappeared. Just a few patches of cloud and maybe some showers here on the east coast. They're all clear up by lunchtime though. Over the next day or so, London and the area around Kent can expect a couple of isolated showers, but mostly dry through until Thursday. It's not such good news for the northwest this week, I'm afraid. More wet weather and not a lot of sunshine. Some of today's showers will be heavy and even thundery in Manchester and across the Pennines. Leeds will escape the thunderstorms with drizzle and light rain only throughout the rest of the day and tonight. Elsewhere, it becomes dry today, but with some foggy patches towards Wales. In England, tomorrow morning will see a dry, bright start in most places, with high temperatures throughout the week. We might see 1 or 2 thunderstorms appearing as the week goes on, with temperatures everywhere at 29 to 30 degrees. By the weekend, unfortunately, the dry weather will make way for mostly cloudy skies and rain. The rain will move from Scotland down towards the north and reach the south coast by Saturday afternoon. Temperatures at least will stay mostly warm at around 21 degrees for the weekend. It might feel like a nice change from the high 20s and early 30s we'll see in the week. That's all from me until tomorrow. Enjoy the mini heatwave while you can.
This recording is from the British Council.
So, today's expert teacher is Gabriella, a university English teacher from Leeds. Gabriella, hi, and thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So, I have to confess today's topic is something I am really bad at: listening. Most people say speaking is the most stressful part of learning a new language, but for me, with my B1 German, speaking isn't so bad. At least I'm in control of it, but listening, whoa. People speak so fast, and it's like my brain just shuts down. Am I just really strange and bad at listening? Tell me honestly, I can take it.
No, you're not strange. In fact, it's really common. You know, in exams, most people do pretty well in speaking compared with listening. Of course, Exams are a different situation from real life because in an exam you can't ask for something to be repeated or explained. You usually have just one or maybe two opportunities to listen to the dialogue and then it's gone.
Right, but in real life, I feel stupid always saying, "Sorry, can you repeat that, please?" Especially if I still don't understand, even when they repeat it. And people out there listening, I hope you don't do this. Quite often, the person just repeats what they said equally as fast, and I'm still lost.
They do, don't they? In real life, you've got two strategies. One is to pretend to understand and get out of the conversation as fast as you can.
Yep, sounds familiar.
But obviously, that's not going to help if it's a conversation with high stakes. It might have important consequences. I mean, if you're just chatting with a stranger at the bus stop, it doesn't matter. But imagine you're at a government office or a bank trying to find out what paperwork you need to get your ID or open a bank account. What can you do then?
I hope you got the answer, Gabriella, because I'm coming out in a cold sweat just thinking about either of those situations.
The other strategy is to summarize what they said.
But how can you do that if you didn't understand what they said?
Well, you only start the summary. So you might say, in German in your case, "Okay, so the first thing I have to do is," and make it a question. Or, for example, "And which office is that again?" Break it down into smaller questions and the other person will naturally start answering them. That way you're controlling the conversation a bit more.
I get you.
This recording is from the British Council.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the first lecture of our new course in positive psychology. While some people may associate psychology with looking at what's wrong with us and at what problems we have, there is much more to psychology than that. Positive psychology, for example, looks at how to help people become happier. This lecture begins with a question. What makes a happy life? Now, I'm going to give you one possible answer. A happy life is a life in which you are completely absorbed in what you do. Now, how does this compare with what you and your partner said? This answer comes from the work of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi and the theory of flow. Csikszentmihalyi is a psychologist who has spent much of his professional life on the study of what makes people happy and how we can find happiness. Csikszentmihalyi suggests the theory that happiness is not caused by external events or things that happen to us. Our perception of these things and how we see these events either makes us happy or sad. In other words, if we want happiness, we have to actively look for it. However, this does not mean that we should always look for happiness. Csikszentmihalyi believed that our happiest moments happen when we are in a state of flow. The theory of flow can be summarized like this. When we are totally involved in or focused on what we are doing, we are in a state of flow. Csikszentmihalyi got the inspiration for this theory when he noticed how artists worked in a studio. They completely lost track of time. They didn't notice they were hungry or tired, and they could work for hours, even days, without stopping. Anyone I've spoken to who has experienced this state of concentration has said it's difficult to explain. The best way to explain it is that it is like being in a river, and the flow of the water carries you away. For the rest of this lecture, I will explore this theory of flow in more detail. First, we will look at Csikszentmihalyi's life and how it influenced his ideas. Then we will look at the conditions that go with a state of flow. What creates flow exactly? Finally, we will look at activities that can help us achieve flow in our everyday lives. Will this course make you happy for life? Well, maybe. Maybe. Right, let's get started. If you look at the next slide.
This recording is from the British Council.
Okay, so you've got a few minutes to discuss with your partner.
So, as far as I know, the main similarity between Mars and Earth is that they can both support human life.
Yeah, but do we know that's actually true? I mean, Mars is much colder than Earth, isn't it? It says here it's about minus 55 degrees most of the time, whereas on Earth, only places like Antarctica get that cold.
True. Well then, I suppose you could say both planets are a similar distance from the Sun.
No way! Mars is much further away. It says here it's about 228 million kilometers, while Earth is about 150 million.
Yes, but in space that's not that far. Jupiter is like almost 780 million kilometers. That's why we use astronomical units when we talk about distance in space. Earth is 1 astronomical unit from the Sun, and Mars is 1.3. The difference doesn't sound so big when you look at it that way.
I see what you mean. Jupiter is 5.2 astronomical units, so I guess you're right. What other similarities are there between the two planets?
Let's see. Not the colour, obviously.
Yeah, Earth is called the blue planet, and Mars is called the red planet for pretty obvious reasons.
Their sizes are pretty different. Mars is about half the size of Earth.
What about this? It looks like the days on both planets are almost the same length. Earth's day is 24 hours, but Mars's is about half an hour longer.
You're right. Okay. Any other things they both share?
I suppose you could say they have water in common.
Could you? How?
Well, Earth is 70% water, and Mars probably had huge oceans in the past. It's just that most of the water there now is probably frozen.
Ah, I see. I don't think we can say the air is the same, though. Most of Earth's air is nitrogen and oxygen. But Mars
doesn't really have air, not compared with Earth. It's got about 1% as much air as Earth.
Right, and it's mostly carbon dioxide.
Gravity is another difference. I didn't know this, but Mars has higher gravity than the Moon. But it's much less than on Earth, of course.
Oh, yes. It says Mars has about 38% of Earth's gravity.
Okay, let's see what you've found.
This recording is from the British Council.
As you know, our team has grown a lot in the past year, and we feel we need to address the diversity in the team.
How do you mean, address the diversity?
Well, we all know that diversity in teams is a good thing, but it can also be a challenge for some people to respect and value people's differences. We've got a really diverse team here. People of different nationalities, backgrounds, religions, ages, and sometimes I don't feel we make the most of this.
Yes, and even if it isn't specifically challenging, many people are simply unaware of the isolation that some team members may feel because they are different.
So, what does this mean? What are we going to do?
Well, we need to create a workplace charter. You know, one that promotes equality, diversity, and inclusion.
That sounds like a good idea, but will people just see it as something the management team has created? Maybe they won't even pay attention to it.
I know. That's why we're going to involve everyone in creating it.
That's a good idea. We could run some workshops and get ideas from the employees about how we can create a more inclusive workplace.
Exactly. I was thinking that before that, we could run some team-building sessions so they can experience the value of diversity for themselves.
Yes, I like that. Many people see diversity as something negative, often because there are different opinions or ways of doing things.
Yes, I know, but if there's no diversity, then the risk is that we all work in the same way, think the same, and see the world the same. This makes it hard to be creative and to innovate.
I completely agree, Nina. Okay, so what do you want us to do?
Stefano, can you look for a successful trainer who specializes in running workshops and team building sessions on diversity and inclusion?
Sure, I'll be happy to.
And Brenda, can you find a fun venue, somewhere that is quite diverse itself? Something that's not the usual seminar-style environment.
Sure, that'll be fun.
And I'm going to do some further research into how other organizations are benefiting from their diversity. I can share this with the whole team.